Alola! I'm the official name raider. My job is to look through the first page of Google, review the nicknames provided by the internet, and then give my recommendations at the end. Today, we're looking at Mudbray and Mudsdale, and yes, as you can see down there, it's been a long time. Life's been crazy. I apologize for the delay. Hopefully things can come up Millhouse. Bojack, I suppose, is one you should see coming. Is it something I particularly care for? No. I literally only know the name Bojack Horseman and nothing else about it. So, it's up to you for you guys to decide how you feel about it. Rune is totally fine on its own because it works as Binding of Isaac Bayonetta style nickname, but also if you wanted to do it after a fictional horse, that's something you should be expecting as well. Sunday Silence sounds kind of nice, kind of like a horror film almost, but also I don't necessarily hate the idea of just Sunday by itself. I don't know why, but I'm okay with it, and I feel like we don't see days of the week as a nickname, hardly ever, if at all. I feel like it's the first time, and I don't know, just something about it just works. I feel like if you were to pick anything else as a nickname for a day of the week, it'd be like Wednesday for Wednesday Addams, and that'd probably be like Goth the Tell, but this just feels different. I don't know if I originally had this in the original recording. So spoilers for you. I had this entire episode edited ready, and I deleted all the footage because I thought I saved it. I didn't actually save the recording. So I had to redo it. But Video Game Donkey, I see that coming. Do I care for it? No, not really. But if it appeals to you, there's another idea. Alright, so we got a bunch of stuff right here in this comment, and the only problem I have was just his... It's that Tumblr idiot style of logic where he combines two things and he's like, oh, it's so obvious. Everyone will understand screwdriver. And it's like, no, what the fuck are you talking about? Madonna is Madonna. You get that? Epona, that's fine as a nickname too. It's something you expect. It's just don't look at Madonna and think people are going to think Epona. No one on the planet is going to think Epona based on Madonna. So if that's what you're going for, it's not going to work. If you want the singer, Madonna, it's going to work. Or just the term Madonna. Epona is fine as a nickname too. And then Bullseye, we've talked about that, Toy Story. I don't remember which Pokemon it was, but I know we mentioned it. I feel like Decidueye is the obvious choice, but I want to say we mentioned it for another horse before. I just don't recall who. And then I feel like unlocked memory on Maximus here from doing this episode before. Was that like Cinderella or something? I don't know. Max is just a name, and then Philippe is just a name too. I do remember Denny, and I remember seeing Jackass and thinking, I don't necessarily hate it if you take away the immaturity away from it. And I think it was actually around that time that I just finished watching the newest Jackass film, and I was like, yeah, think of it like that, but you could still argue immaturity with that. I don't know. I'm sure the censors won't allow it, but I don't necessarily hate the concept of Jackass as a nickname by itself. And I remember this one. You keep your political shit out of the comments or I will delete it. But I do like the concept of Democrat as a nickname. I actually think that's very strong, very different. So it's the thing where, to me, I feel you don't think about the fact of like, oh, remember they have symbols and images. So like, you could do Democrat and Republican for like Mudsdale or elephant Pokemon. My mind says Caparaja, but I'm like, do you really want Caparaja and Indian elephant? I don't know. Donphan something. You could work, and those ideas could work. That's basically it. You could actually do Donphan and Mudsdale, and they could be together as ground friends. Look at that. But I like the idea. I think it's very creative and clever. And again, keep whatever political bullshit you have out of my comments. Not Eddie Murphy. I feel like also, for whatever reason, I was okay with Okie Dokie. Something about that feels familiar to me, and I'm okay with it. I don't know why. It's entertaining to me, and you are legally required to read the word Okie Dokie in Mario's voice. I remember Knoxville in reference to Jackass as well, and I want to say my stance on it was the idea of it could be confused with Knoxville as in like the city, like Knoxville, Tennessee or something like that. So if you wanted to reference Jackass the show, maybe doing something like Steve-O would be a better choice because that won't get confused with anything else. And I'll acknowledge Eeyore just for the sake of it. I don't know if I really have a particular stance on it, but just in case anyone cares, Eeyore exists. I also remember Budweiser, and I want to say Clydesdale was another thing I saw a bunch or something like that. Budweiser I'm okay with. It was going back to some really old Super Bowl commercial. And yeah, if you care for that, you know, that's fine with me. I've honestly been on kind of this thing where I want to name a bunch of Pokemon after alcohol. I just want to come up with some clever ideas first. And I mean, Budweiser could fit into that motif if I wanted to. Donkey, but the way Shrek says it. How do you type that? What kind of stupid ass fucking response is that? Seabiscuit, I remember being a joke for Seadra, I want to say the Seadra Kingdra episode, and it made sense, and I liked the joke of it, because, get it, it's a seahorse, aha! I still hate the name Seabiscuit and think it's god-awful, but if you care for it, there's another racehorse, I guess, for you. Big Macintosh, I know that's a My Little Pony reference. Mystery, I feel, is one of, like, maybe 2 names in all of SpongeBob that actually works as a good nickname idea, which also, I suppose, realistically, maybe Mystery would be better on Seadra as well. But, all the same, like, that's one SpongeBob joke I could actually recommend and not think it's terrible. Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron. Landslide, I remember, and I remember thinking it was okay, just as a generic ground-type nickname. Throw on to a few people. It works. Elmer, I actually think I'd rather just call it Glue than Elmer. Like, I understand Elmer's glue, but I don't know, I feel like it works a little bit better. I don't know, it's subjective, it entirely is, you know, it's like, do you want to call it Hot Wings, or do you want to call it General So, you know? I also hate the fact that, like, if it weren't for the fact that this is Hayden on Twitter, then, like, you could at least take Trojan and think Trojan Horse, but because you know it's a fan of Hayden's, you understand it's teehee sex condom. Fuck yourself. Calzone's totally random, but I'm okay with food-based nicknames. Oh, actually, we haven't seen Dirty Hair yet. Dirty Hair I have written down. I'm not sure how or where I came across it from, but I have it written down, and I guess I just thought, oh, Mudsdale, that would work. So, yeah, I'm actually 100% okay with Dirty Harry as a nickname. Could also kind of work, I guess, as a racehorse name, too. Because sexual innuendo and it's a horse! At least this guy admits it. Oh, no, I do remember this. Okay. Oh. No, hold on. I can actually see my own my work here. Okay, well, shit. I have Red Rum and Black Betty written down, which means we're probably going to run into those later. Shit. Here we go. Black Beauty. That's what made me think of Black Betty. Because I misread it. And, well, it's also akin to the name I use too, but I guess, yeah, Tangled is Maximus. And there's Red Rum. Okay, so this is where I got those 2 from and put it on the Nick Finder. But I like both of these. I think they work. They could also work as this is 3-time Grand National Steeplechase champion. Raised 30 legs behind, leader of the race, then overcame in the last 500 yards. So there you go, he's a racehorse. I do have Red Rum written down, I'm pretty sure, as a generic name, but it's more for, like, dark or ghost types. But, you know, you could... Oh, you know what would be perfect? Spectrier. Put on Spectrier. There you go. Damn, I'm good. If only I nicknamed legendaries, then I would 100% use it. We are Liz and Joe, but mainly run by Joe, a girl who with Asperger's 22 years experience in Pokemon anime, gaming mods, and everything in animals. Okay, an resource for everything Pokemon meets anime. Okay, see this little screenshot here? Because this is new. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet weren't out when I originally did this episode. So that's I'm like, okay, I don't recognize this. And I was like, this looks like a bot. Completely like a bot. But there are a few nicknames in here I actually don't mind. And it's probably pure coincidence, I'm going to bet on that. Because, like, Bueno, that's just nonsensical. Chestnut is food. Fruitcake, walnut. Nut with a K. See, like, this screams bot to me. This, I mean, all of it screams bot to me, but it's like, it's just food, I guess. Espresso, I kind of like, but I want to say espresso is what we used or recommended for the Dodrio episode. From Donkey Kong Country, otherwise maybe if ostrich, flamenco. I don't know. Espresso is an idea and I like it. Cadbury, like the chocolate. Nutella. Twix. So I don't know if I ever got around to actually telling this story or not. Back when I was in high school and stuff, there was this, I don't know how it started, friends, and then I copied along, and it was like you'd call your friend something like, oh, well, this is my blank, and I had a friend, she went by the name of Star, so Starburst, that's my Starburst. And like, it was just naming people after candy. There was a girl I dated, her name was Kate, and called her Kit Kat. So there was that. But Twix kind of brings me back to that, and that's kind of a nicknaming motif I would like to try and incorporate in Pokemon, because I just feel like that'd be easy to do. Basically just candy. I mean, there were some things that were non-candy related, but those will not work as nicknames. But Twix could work, and that's what that brings me back to. And Mars, there's another one that's okay. Rolo. It says one. Oh, that's why. Okay. So this feels familiar to me, and I controlled F, as you could probably see up here. I'm not actually sure if it shows up on OBS or not. But, yeah, it says Chunky Nicknames, and there's nothing up here that says Chunky other than this word. That's the only thing that says Chunky. This is 1000% a bot, and I 1000% don't feel like fucking reading it at all. I wonder why shit like this is legal on my internet. Oh shit! Oh no, I forgot. Okay, so Google did a thing, right? Where it's updated and now you can literally just endlessly scroll forever. So saying the first page of Google is a little bit harder now. I mean, I guess it ends there, but all the same, you see where this little bit is? I don't care. That's the bottom of the first page of Google. We're not going past this. I'm not going that much further. I forgot they did that update. Okay, cool. Well, that's that as far as the... that's gonna really change how I do my intros then, I guess. I don't know, man. Yeah, that's the first question mark page of Google? Alright, so let's go over the spreadsheet, which has... Wisna. Mystery is fine, and then we can just close this tab out. And then we have comment suggestions. Thankfully, I was smart and did not delete these, and that's how I knew... Oh, shit! I edited the video but didn't press the save button. I'm a fucking moron. So we have Honey Bun, which he says again, credit them, not chaotic. But, you know, Honey Bun kind of works on food-based nicknames as well. Epona, we talked about earlier, and then Aggro, if you want to shout out the Colossus, take your pick. A lot of the fictional horses and all that, it basically just comes down to which one you'd want to go for. I don't think we've seen too much Shadow of the Colossus in the past. I feel like every now and again, but yeah, Aggro works. Torrent, the horse from Elden Ring. The one thing about this that bothers me is just the idea of it's like it can't exist in-game. Torrent is an ability. Will Mudsdale ever have that ability? No, so it doesn't necessarily matter, but it's just a thing that is in the back of my head. And then Keeneland, the horse racing cap of the world, which... I feel like I didn't know that, but I mean, I read this before, so I read it before, learned it before, and forgot it, so I can't wait to forget it a second time. And our last one, the Mudslide. We technically had Landslide. Mudslide works as well, too. Still never drank a Mudslide. I remember my mom drinking them when I was younger. And, you know, it's one thing I should maybe try and do one day. I'm fine with it as a nickname. It works. Again, we got a fair bit of food, I feel, here and there, and also I guess that could also work with my alcohol motif. Now, the last thing to go over is just what we encountered over the episode, the notable highlights, which I felt were Bullseye, Dirty Harry, Epona, Democrat, Black Betty, and Red Prop. Those were all the ones that I thought were good. When I originally got Sun and Moon, you know, back before they ruined it by making a second version, and literally could have just been a free update instead of charging you the same game for $40. I had an idea where I was just like, I wanted to look up war horses. So I just kind of looked at a list, and then the one that stood out to me was Blackjack. You know, card game as well. So based off a war horse, but also doubles as a card game. So that was what I personally used for my Mudsdale when I originally played Sun and Moon. Because when I saw that trailer for the Mudsdale reveal, I was like, oh, I want that guy on my team. I knew I wanted him. I knew I needed him. His ability is great. But I also like the idea of, like, if you care, I don't give a shit if mine's a dude or a chick. Blackjack's a card game as well. But if you care about the gender thing, then you could have Blackjack for a boy and Black Betty for a girl. Black Betty being the Ram Jam song, because I don't really feel like I technically explained that. So those are my picks and my ideas and my recommendations. I apologize indefinitely for the delay. Again, it's been hell. I feel like I was sick the entire month of November, and then after that we had the whole Christmas season coming around, so it was nonstop busy. And really, it wasn't until I got sick again that I felt like I was able to actually catch up a little bit on life. So hopefully, things can catch up. But on the bright side, I guess if you want to think about it like this is the way I think about it. There's not that much Pokemon left. Like, we have Alola, we have Galar, and depending on when we finish Galar will depend on when we start Paldea. But that's it. We have like 2.5 generations. It's not like I can fuck up that much more than I already have. So, any other ideas and suggestions you have, feel free to put in the comments below. Give a thumbs up to the ones you think are good. Tell us what you've used. Tell us what you'd recommend. Help contribute and provide good nickname ideas. There are other horse Pokemon. If you have other ideas, maybe this video didn't help you, you could try other ones. I feel like this is more horse focused, opposed to Rapidash, which is probably more fire focused. What other horse Pokemon are there? I can't really think of anything other than Rapidash and Zebstrika, which is a zebra. But yeah, if this didn't help you, maybe those videos, or maybe you're here because of that videos. I don't know. Goodbye, good night.